a hell of a morning, Chicago. Let's dance!
Woo-hoo! So independent, but check it, we bendo. That's why
July 17th, we're bringing you episode 22 of Bites Over Bagels!
Whoa, whoa, Brett, you're too loud.
Bam! I guess so. Joining us as always is one Miss Heather Brown.
Heather Brown, y'all.
Everybody's favorite nemesis, Dave Seidler. And I'm Brett McGee, filling in as co-host.
Where's John? Where's John?
Where's John?
John, he's
He just didn't show up this morning.
finishing up a stint in a Michigan rehab for his Whole Foods addiction.
He's addicted to Whole Foods.
He's
stressed out.
That guy goes over there like 3 times a day.
At
I know.
least.
Gets those deviled eggs in the morning, comes back all gassy. He goes back in the afternoon and gets whatever those herbal supplements are to tailor back the gassiness.
Yeah,
It's just feeding
He's
the
just
beast over.
overall gassy.
Yeah. Then he goes up and gets those tacos.
Yeah, John, you get taken down when you're not here. Sorry.
Yeah, man, poor guy. Dave, who's on the show?
We got Mike McGee, co-founder of Starter League.
Oh, yeah, Mike McGee. Usually you get FaceTime with Neil, but we got in Mike.
Neil threw us Mike, but Mike,
Is legit.
Mike's better. I'm going to say Mike's better.
There it is, Neil. You just got taken down.
Neil, you got taken down.
Yeah, he's going to be the new head of...
I don't know. Neil, I still love you, but
Yeah.
if you want to come on the show, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, it's a great interview. They're talking to us about Starter League's new entrepreneur school and a whole bunch of other wicked stuff. So stay tuned. We got a good show.
For sure.
Let's wake up this beast.
full of independence, simply pitiful popping. It's a miracle that we can grow the street on top of them. Those are with it hit
In the
top,
news
and
recently,
it's the
Elon Musk, for all of you who have been under a rock and don't know this guy, co-founder of PayPal, CEO of SpaceX, founder of Tesla,
A real slouch.
real lazy guy, actually finally gave a little bit more clarity to the Hyperloop transit system that he's trying to create, which is basically the future. So taking human beings from LA to San Francisco, I think in 20 minutes.
30 minutes.
Oh,
I thought.
shit.
30 minutes, yeah. 800 miles an hour. And he hasn't given any details about what this thing looks like yet, but apparently it is impossible to crash, always on demand, less expensive than current travel, not anything like a boat, train, or automobile, and ideally solar powered.
I'm imagining it looking like the Superman ride at Great America.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
You're just whipping through the air at 800 miles an hour with nothing blocking your face at all. Just bugs all in your teeth. Anyway, it sounds
You get a mask. You get a mask.
Oh, you get a mask. Of course you do.
I don't know.
For sure.
You have to get a mask, like a piece of crappy
Right.
plastic.
Is he
mask.
building this thing already? Or
I don't know, but he actually tweeted out maybe yesterday, I think, that there will be an initial alpha launch of this thing on August 12th. So hopefully putting some rumors to rest, and we can actually see what this thing looks like. And I always thought it was going to be in this like vacuum tunnel type of thing, like they have at the banks. You send your money
right.
back up.
Right.
But apparently there's no tunnel system involved either. So
Wow. That's really
I think the goal is to take this thing from LA to New York in like an hour.
Sure. I'm in. I don't know.
It's pretty badass. And Tesla in its own right is just blowing up. It's just getting started. The car's already being made, but he's putting these charging stations all over the country, so you can just like travel the country and charge up. And SpaceX clearly getting people into the outer space world.
It's always depressing to go into the parking garages where the charging stations are now, and there's no cars.
There's no cars, and I
Yeah.
want to park there.
Yeah, so I was thinking about a hack. Is like you just get an extension cord and hang it out of your hood.
Oh, man.
Just tie it around the charging
Classic
station.
Mackie Scout, just pulls
I'm pretty
in.
sure nobody's gonna mess with you.
Yeah, your
for
1945 Scout doesn't necessarily.
I don't think anybody would question it. Yeah.
No.
I doubt it.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try
Well,
it.
for all those that are manning the parking lots,
Yeah.
and parking
Watch out
garages,
for
watch
Mackie
out for
Scout.
guys like Brett hanging an orange power cord out the hood.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be too obvious. So, well, anyway.
I don't know. I'm really excited about this, and who knows what it's going to lead to, but pretty pumped to see how we can travel faster.
Wait, what's the date he's putting out for this?
August 12th, he'll have some like plan in place for this thing. Prototype of some sketch, maybe. I don't know.
You should take the Amtrak from Chicago to San Francisco. It will just take like 2 days.
At least.
Just for contrast.
At least,
and then hop on the Hyperloop.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, your blood will probably boil by the time
Well, I
you
don't
get
know.
to LA.
Human beings traveling at that speed,
Can't be good
that's
for...
got to just like rip you up inside.
Yeah, it's got to be depressurized. I don't know. I don't know the science. Don't call
Well, of course,
me.
how fast do you go when you're in an airplane? I mean, obviously not 800, but it's kind of the similar
Well,
thing.
this is
No one's
faster. This is
dying.
faster than an airplane.
How long does a
Well,
bullet
right,
train go?
but-
How
Twice,
fast does a
it's
bullet train
twice the speed of a conventional aircraft.
Okay.
go? Okay, so it's like.
But we're
yeah.
not dying at, 400 in an airplane.
No, we're not done
so
at
I
400,
guess,
but let's see what we can do at
800 is
800.
probably the same.
I wonder if you can use
Yikes.
your cell phone on takeoff and landing,
No.
quote unquote, in this thing.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I'm concerned
Okay.
about, at least.
That's you absolutely are. How are you going to read your cranes?
Right. How can I play Words
you-
with Friends during travel?
Right. Well, they'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Anyway, breaking news over here. Breaking news. You've heard it first or last.
Right. You probably just scraped that off of Pletz, some blog post. from
Yeah,
Pletz.
just John Pletz wrote about that 3 days ago.
Yeah, right. Always on top of the fresh news, y'all. Right now, it is the semifinals of Chicago.
Tip.
Start up.
Madness!
Yeah. So what's next, right? What's next?
Yeah, so we are in the semifinals. We have 2 brackets.
Let's recap them.
Yeah, we will. We got 4 startups in each bracket. What we're going to do today is we're going to ask everybody to go in and vote one more time in each bracket. From each side, we're going to vote 1 startup up to the finals.
Wow.
Exciting.
Yeah. So by next week, we need those votes in, and we're going to then allow the CEO or a representative of that company to submit a 1 to 2 minute pitch.
It could be 10 seconds if it's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Right. It's up to them, really. Could be a song.
Could be a dance.
Could be a joke. Who knows? Who knows? But we're going to let them pitch their company in their own words and let y'all vote one more time to get that winner. Bring them home, and we're going to bring them into the show. Give them that prize pack and that featured full-length interview on Bites Over Bagels.
All right, so right now we have on one side of the bracket, Vinyl Me Please, Meat Advisors, Mystery Tackle Box, and We Deliver. Vote for your favorite one on that side of the bracket, guys, by next week. Brett, what do we got on the other side?
On the other side of the bracket, we have Traveler, Doggy Loot, Ad Yapper, and Project Travel. So
There's some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
there are some great startups. So if you don't know who they are, go back and listen to the shows. We pitch them. Or go download the wares, y'all. Check them out and be educated for your voting. But to vote, it's pretty simple. Go to BitesOverBagels.com. You can click on the company you want to vote for. It will create a tweet for you, or you can just tweet it out yourself.
And remember to put that hashtag Chicago Tech Startup Madness in your tweets, along with the handle of the company you wish to vote for.
Yep, it's pretty easy. Get the votes in. We're looking forward to moving to the finals and finishing this thing up.
Yeah, let's get this thing over with, guys.
Yeah, I want to meet the winner.
Yeah, me too.
I'm ready to meet the winner. Name of today's show is
Back to school. Back to school. Today's bagels are brought to you by the one and the only NYC Bagel Deli and Catering. Head on over there. Get yourself some kettle baked goodness today.
Sure, I will. Why not? If you want to get some caffeine in the bloodstream, I do. Better head on over to Botruss. Check them out at Botruss.com. Tickle Phil and Seth's beard while you're at it.
Neat, Dave.
I quote a photogenic, eat a bone to feed the vultures. Ironic in the kitchen, flick the switch and see the roaches. The speed of light, keep him right and long and wrong as he approaches. But no one noticed.
Today's featured interview is with Mike McGee. He is the co-founder of a small educational institution in town called the Starter League.
So distinguished.
The League of Start.
No one's heard of that.
Yeah.
I doubt.
He literally is wearing a whistle around his neck. When he blows it, all the Starter League people assemble around him.
And then they run wing
Actually,
sprints.
Mike's looking at us like,
What is this interview?
here?
Mike just got up and left.
Hey, that was a great interview. Feeling good.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
So let's get this interview started by talking or telling our listeners a little bit about what the Starter League is, just in case. Just in case.
Definitely. The Starter League is a beginner-focused in-person program that teaches software design and development. So we're located in 1871, downtown in the Merchandise Mart on the 12th floor. And for the past 2 years, we've been teaching people with little to no experience in programming and design how to make their ideas real.
How long has this been going on now?
So we had our first class October of 2011, so almost
Okay.
2 years now.
Wow. And so how many students about have you guys put through the program? Do you know?
After this quarter, it will be over 650.
Wow.
And how many per class?
So we wanted 12 when we first started. So
Okay.
we first did our public launch August of 2011, looking for 12 crazy people to believe in this program that had never existed. And we ended up getting 35 people to start our first class. Our spring quarter we just finished a couple weeks ago was our largest class ever. We had 158 people in a 3-month program. So we've expanded a little bit since October of 2011.
So who applies for these? Professionals already? People right out of college? Like, what are you finding?
All of the above.
Okay.
So when we started the program, we thought we would get people right out of college, people looking to change careers. We got those two groups, but we also got so many other people. We've had a 13-year-old do the program, a 65-year-old do the program, people from all different industries, lawyers, journalists, teachers, entrepreneurs, UPS truck drivers. It's been amazing to see all the different people from all over Chicago, all over the country, even all over the world. We've had people come from about 20 different countries, Australia, Germany, Spain, you name the country, they probably have come here to Chicago to learn. So it's been remarkable. Someone so young, I just graduated 3 years ago, to have all these people, come from all over the world to learn, how to code and design.
Cool.
I was going to ask a hopefully controversial question. Who is the greatest student so far of the Starter League?
Controversial.
The
That's not
greatest.
greatest.
No, because I'm just imagining all the hate mail you'd get afterwards. Be like, I thought I was the greatest.
Oh, I caused too much drama already. So this is a very
low on the
normal-
drama scale.
Oh, I see. Do you have is that a fair question? It's not, but I like the idea that it could be the greatest student.
Well, I mean, and I used to be a politician, so I guess I'm going to cop out. But I don't know. There's not really a greatest student. There's so many amazing stories that I don't know. I mean, we don't really rank this person gets a 10 for that or 8.5 for that. So I mean,
okay, hold on.
One of our notable ones is from the first class when we were Code Academy. Our first international student, his name is Luis Vega, and he's 21 years old. He came from the Philippines. He flew over 8,000 miles to come to Chicago. Once again, this program did not exist. When we started, we said, hey, 12-week program, $6,000. We're going to teach you how to build a web app. Trust us. And 35 people did. And even when we got them to give us money, we needed their money so we could build the actual program. We had no computers. We had no space. We said, hey, thank you for believing in us, but we need your money up front so we can pay for all the things. So Luis was one of those crazy first 35 who paid for his own plane ticket, found his own place to stay, and came here, and in 3 months learned how to build web apps, and now he's back in the Philippines leading a startup. So that's just one of the many stories out of the 650 people who have changed their lives. We have people who've moved their families to their in-laws so they could come to Chicago. People have cashed out their 401ks. They've sold houses and apartments. Yeah, you like that.
Absolutely.
Drama.
I know what John is getting at here. I know what John is getting at.
What about?
He wants to talk about Jason Fried being
do?
the best student ever.
Oh no, I wasn't. Wait, so
Oh,
that's a great
that's where you're going.
segue. That's a great segue, though. Why change the name from Code Academy to a League of Justice? We're starting.
That's a good question. So for one, there was a name confusion issue. So when we launched, we came up with the name Code Academy in April of 2011. And it was the standard way that many startups, create their name. They have a list of domain names. There are a lot of them that are really crappy. And they're like, oh, this one's good. Code Academy. We teach people how to code.
And it's available, right?
novel.
And it's available.
Right.
So we were Code Academy without any, idea if there was anyone out there with a similar name. And so when we did our, second public launch in August of 2011, 2 weeks into that, Neil and I, co-founders on Hacker News, and he's like, Mike, did you put us on Hacker News? I'm like, no. He's like, because we're number 2 right now on the front page. I'm like, oh, crap. So we click on it, and we realize, oh, that's not us. That's this other startup called Code Academy, minus the A, that had just come out of the recent class of Y Combinator, which is, the biggest accelerator program on Earth. Yeah. And they just had, instant success. They're teaching people online for free. We're in person in Chicago. It's not free. And so we had the social media accounts, at Code Academy and Twitter and Facebook. And so there's tons of people who were getting us confused because no one saw that they had an A missing their name. So for a year, we just were confused with them. Even in Chicago, at, the Moxie Awards, last year when we were still Code Academy, there were still a lot of people in Chicago who didn't know that we were different from them. But it was annoying, but we were able to deal with it because we were having so much success. We were teaching so many people. But at the same time, we started adding new classes. So we started off with just one web development course, and then we added design courses. So we had user experience, and then HTML, CSS, and now we have visual design. And that's not just Code Academy. So we wanted to find a name that better represented what we were already doing, but also what we want to do in the future. It's not just about the code. It's not just about the design. It's why you do it. And we want people to, start things that they love, start new careers, start new ideas and companies. And coding and design are part of that package to make that happen. So the Starter League, the starter concept is actually taken from Rework, which is one of Jason Fried David's books. On page 28, they talk about starter.
Oh my gosh!
Oh man! What a plug! What a plug!
Yeah.
Available now for $14.99.
There we
Shipping and handling.
There we go.
Was it coincidental that the name change coincided with the partnership with 37 Signals?
It was part of the plan. So once we had been talking with Jason for a long time, and then in the spring, 6 months before we announced the partnership and the name change, we had been able to get to know him a little bit better. We also met with David Himmart Hansen, and so we just really got to know him and their company, 37 Signals, a lot better, and we admired their company even when we were just at Northwestern, Neil and I. Just being students, reading their books, and watching their videos. And then a year later, we're having breakfast with them, eating chicken and waffles. I'm freaking out. I'm like,
Best day ever.
this is amazing. I was idolizing.
Jason told me he was a vegetarian.
Well, I was eating chicken and
I'm
waffles.
just joking. I'm just joking.
I can't remember what
He never said that to me.
Yeah.
I don't even know him.
Yeah, I don't think he's a vegetarian.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, but
Classic Dave.
Just trying.
no, that was good. That was good.
I was just trying.
It's okay. We all try.
All right.
But yeah, so
We need to take a class.
we use that that partnership is we've been trying to change our name anyway.
Yeah.
Since the fall of the year before, and so that was the opportunity for us to come up with a name. Instead of just picking a domain name, we said let's actually try to think about what we want. So that's when the Starter League came about.
So someone coming out of the Starter League with credibility to get a job, are you finding that people are able to come out of Starter League and use that name as well as they would use a name like University of Chicago or Northwestern? And do you think it will get to if not, do you think it will get to a point where Starter League will have the presence that those universities have?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I would say it depends on the industry and what situation those companies or startups are in. So there are certain industries, there are certain situations where the Starter League name, the brand name, would mean more than Northwestern U Chicago.
Sure.
At the same time, our focus is not to guarantee that in 3 months you will go from complete beginner to being job ready or be able to launch $1 million or $1 billion company. This is just a start. That's in part of the reason why we're the Starter League. We get you from the hardest point, which is 0 to 1, and then we give you the skill set and the framework to get to 1, from 1 to 2, and then 2 to 3, and then eventually you're getting that job that you love, or you're starting that company that you want to start. You're solving that problem through technology. So we've had a lot of people who've gone through the program who have been able to get a user experience job or a entry-level development job, and they mentioned, like, I went through the Starter League. I've been learning for the past 6 months. I'm ready to learn some more, and I'm ready to make an impact on your team. And people and companies have talked to us and said, like, we love your hires and we want more people. But once again, it depends. So we definitely try to really caution our students to not just think about getting a job right after, because this is just the beginning. There's so many people. I mean, here at 8-Bit, you have people who've been developing for 10, 15, 20 years, and they still feel like they're learning something new every day. And so it's wrong for us to try to flood with all these new programmers and say, hey, they can do a better job or just as good of a job as you, when that's totally not true. So we definitely want to add more people to these industries, but we also want to be respectful and say, hey, this is just the beginning, but if you keep learning, in 6 to 12 months, 2 to 3 years, you're going to be pretty amazing. So.
Yeah, because getting a job wasn't the reason you did this. I mean, for people to get jobs. And so aligning yourself with Northwestern and teaching classes there, has that, I guess, why did you start doing that aside from just staying independent?
Yeah, no, well, one, it's just really cool to be teaching classes at a place that you graduated from.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just like 3 years ago. So that's a cool fact. But the main reason there is exposure. Like, we want, like, before, and I don't know when this shift happened, whether it was 2, 3 years ago or 5 years ago, but it used to be that you could just be the idea guy, and you just were the MBA, you had the idea, you could go on, like, Craigslist or some online thing and, like, hire code monkeys to build your idea, and you give them, like, $9 an hour and maybe, like, 0.5% of equity or something. And that used to work.
And beer.
Yeah.
And beer. Forget the equity. Just beer.
Yeah, just beer.
I don't want equity.
Get them all
That's
drunk.
crazy. Yeah, I don't want that. So that used to work. But then, something happened, and I'm glad that it happened, but the people who actually could create, the designers and developers, kind of woke up and said, hey, I'm the one putting in all the work. I'm the one building this. Why am I, putting all this work in and not getting the value out of that? So a lot of them have either been hired by, an Apple, a Google, Twitter, Facebook, or they built their own thing. And so now the idea guy is kind of dying. And you just can't have that golden idea because, we could come up with 5 ideas right now that are probably worth a lot of money, value, we can assign a value to it. We could.
Are you listening, Kellogg business students?
Yeah.
Are you hearing any of this?
Please do. Please hear.
Sorry.
Please hear.
No, it's totally cool. But it's like, but the thing is, I was that person. Mm-hmm. Like, I was that person, like, oh, it'd be great if someone would do this, or it'd be great if, I could, build this, but I had no skill. So I was like, shut up. You can't do anything. Like, try to learn and try to actually learn how to build these things. So that's why we're teaching at Kellogg. And actually, that class that we taught at Kellogg last quarter was like their most popular class, in recent memory. It was only like 30-something spots or maybe 30 spots, and like 92 people wanted to do it. And people were like emailing us saying, hey, like, we've used up all of our like credits or whatever they use to like bid for classes. Like, we used all of them for this one class. We really want to do it. So it was kind of like a watershed moment of like, wow, like, people are like, they're finally getting that it takes more than just having the idea and the business skill. You also need to pair that with, a hard skill like design and development.
Yeah, that's super smart that you guys partnered up with Northwestern. I was glad to hear that when I saw it. So.
Yeah, we're also teaching Chicago students too.
Oh,
so
nice.
We're teaching computer science, like graduate students, web development. So they're learning advanced web development from us. So that's another crazy thing. So you have MBAs on one side, and you have the computer science students on the other side. And what we're teaching is practical web development. So that's something that's missing from a lot of computer science programs. So that's something that was a shock to us, because when we started this whole thing, the whole argument's like, oh, you should just go to get, a degree in computer science. But then we had computer science students saying, we'd rather learn from you. And so it's kind of like, whoa, like, what's happening here? So
taking
both
over the
sides
world
of the spectrum.
Truth.
So now you guys are increasing the format from 3 times to 9 times.
The awesomeness.
9 times the awesomeness.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Whose decision was that? That was Freed. Come on.
No, the funny thing is, it was actually our original idea. So when we spent a year teaching ourselves how to code. We were just in a Hyde Park apartment, just in pajamas, just learning online, how to make our ideas real.
It's romantic, isn't it?
I guess so. I never thought about it that way.
Are you and Neil best friends?
We're pretty close. We've
Yeah.
lived together for a long time.
Friendship
These are
bracelets.
hard-pressing questions.
Friendship
Yeah.
bracelets.
Friendship.
We don't have friends.
Charms.
We had similar bracelets all at the same time. We have a little Northwestern bracelet on.
Oh,
but
they
I guess you
do.
can call
Just in
that
case they get sad, they look at the bracelet,
Oh, boy.
and they always know one of them is looking at it.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
boy.
So anyway,
Anyway, starter school.
starter school.
So we had this idea for a 9-month program when we started, but then we were like, well, that's really crazy. We have no credibility right now. Let's just make it 3 months.
Yeah.
And even that was crazy because we just basically picked a number. And now you have all these boot camps around the country and the world saying, like, 3 months, we'll teach you. It's like, do you know how, like, we just guessed that? So it's just kind of funny how, like, it's, almost a trivial thing like that has turned into, like, an industry standard. But we always wanted to, like, the reason why we did this, the reason why we wanted to get into this world of development and design was to solve meaningful problems. We had all these, issues that we were experiencing, friends, family were experiencing, but we didn't have the skills to try to solve them. And so what we want to do with Starter School is help the people who want to solve those meaningful problems through technology have an idea that they've already spent $10, $20, $30, $50,000 on to make real, and have someone else not build their vision the right way. So instead of throwing away $50,000 to $100,000 on an education that doesn't get you in the right spot, or an investment to try to build an app that doesn't work out and you have to pivot and totally scrap it, why not invest that money in yourself to get the skills to build as many applications and to solve as many problems as you want? So we've now, over the past 2 years, figured out that we can teach these things. And we now have, with the partnership with 37 Signals and all these other entrepreneurs and VCs around the city, that we can add the product development and entrepreneurship side to the design and development curriculum to build a 9-month program that will take you from zero to being able to launch a product. You're not going to be Jason Fried in 9 months, but you are going to be able to get the foundations in development, design, and how to launch a product. So leaving this program, you'll have the confidence to do whatever you want and continue learning. So 1, 2, 3 years down the road, you're making a great impact. So that's why we're excited about doing Starter School and also, empowering our alumni to continue their learning process. And yeah.
Now, what kind of schedule will that be? Is this something where people need to drop off their current commitments and get in that way, or?
Yeah, that's we want full-time, all-in people. So starting in the fall, we're looking for, at most 52 students to do this program. So it's going to start at the end of September, and the first 3 months is going to be focused on development. So we're going to teach them how to build a prototype of a web application. We're also going to bake in some HTML, CSS, and also it's like some design kind of elements and also entrepreneurship. Then in the winter quarter is going to be focused on design. So they're going to take that prototype, improve the user interface, improve the user experience, learn some more advanced kind of front-end techniques. And then the spring quarter is going to take all those design and development kind of learnings and then teach them how to actually launch that product. Because that's what we're missing now in the Starter League. Like, we teach design classes, we teach development, but it's a struggle for our students to kind of also figure out how to launch something too.
Sure.
It takes a lot more than just knowing design and development. It also takes the product development skills and to figure out how to actually make this product real, ship it, support it once it's out there, and improve on it. So that's what we want to do, and that's why we're excited about adding this part on to the program.
Yeah.
So who's teaching? Like, who are some of your teachers? Some industry professionals?
Yeah.
Like full-time? Like, what are we looking at?
So we have a mixture of instructors. So we're keeping our instructors on for the development side. So our chief instructor, his name is Jeff Cohen, and Mike, we feel he's the best instructor on the planet for Ruby on Rails. He kind of just fell into our laps when we were starting what was then Code Academy.
Was he the first guy?
He was the first. He was the first crazy person to join. And actually, he found us through Twitter. So we were looking for an instructor when we were starting, and Neil sent out a tweet. One of our advisors, Ray Hightower, retweeted, and then Jeff was following Ray Hightower, and so he DM'd us and emailed us too, like saying, hey, my name's Jeff Cohen. I've been a software developer for 10, 15 years. I also run a teaching company on the side. I'd love to help out in any way, potentially teach. And Neil and I were just like, oh my God.
So how did you
You guys were like, maybe. We'll get back to you in a couple weeks.
We've heard from a lot of people. No, I'm joking. No, it was amazing.
But so he was at Leapfrog at the time, right?
Yeah.
How did you get him to leave there full time?
Ooh, they loved that story.
Yeah. No, it's pretty simple to say. For one, he was really passionate about teaching beginners. Like, he just loves to teach. Like I mentioned, he had a teaching company, so he would go around the country and teach advanced, web development, and teach them, go to companies and teach them for a day or a week. And he hated that, because, you go into these, conference rooms and you might have 40 people,
Right.
And 80% of them don't want to be there.
Right.
And there might be 3 people who want to be there, but you just see, it's just really depressing. It already takes a lot of energy to teach. And then it just drains you even more when there's people in the classroom that obviously don't want to be there, and they have no problem showing you that they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing about the Starter League, because people want to be in class. It's kind of even weird for me to see, because I didn't always like my schooling.
Right.
I'm like, wow, you guys are kind of weird. Like, you really like being
hang
here.
out.
So Jeff wanted to experience that. He really wanted to teach beginners, and it's amazing because he's so smart and he's so knowledgeable of what he does, but yet he's still able to communicate to a beginner, like someone who's never done it before. And that's really hard for someone who's been in their field, whatever field, for that long, to be able to like understand the beginner perspective. So we are really lucky to have him. So he's going to be leading our web development program. Ryan Singer, who's a product manager and one of the lead designers at 37 Signals, really one of the top people in the company, besides Jason and David. He's going to be leading our product development cycle. So he led Basecamp. Small little, application.
Yeah.
Helps,
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
Some
use it.
people
Makes my life so unorganized.
helps some people out. So he's going to be leading product development. But we also have different people like Kevin Willer, who was recently, up until recently, the head of 1871. Now at Chicago Ventures. We have tons of people like Howard Tullman, who runs Tribeca Flashpoint. Jim Dugan, who's head of OCA Ventures. So many other people. Like we have about 20 plus kind of people who are going to be helping out in different phases of the 9-month program. Chuck Templeton, who also runs Impact Engine, founder of OpenTable. So really all of the best entrepreneurs, designers, developers, VCs in Chicago are going to be helping with this program. So even I'm jealous.
Ooh.
Like
I'm quitting
We're
my
all
job
leaving.
right now.
Yeah, we're all
Heather,
leaving.
You want to take this class together?
For sure.
All right.
Too late.
Ooh, let's
Too
teach
late.
a radio
no, it's
class.
not late at all.
Can we teach a radio class?
Yeah, you want us? Hire us
live
on.
broadcast.
Yeah.
Special
Hey.
event.
Is it time for the most important question?
I think it's time.
You guys got anything else?
waiting for the
I don't want to fail.
Ooh, get ready.
Oh man,
It's really hard.
drum roll.
You guys were sniping me.
He's scared.
I am noticeably scared.
He knows what's coming.
What is your favorite type of bagel, and how do you like it prepared?
Oh man.
Yeah.
When you're not eating grilled cheese or cheese sandwiches, as Heather says.
It sounds nice. I kind of like that. Actually,
I-
grilled cheese sounds more classy. It's like a nuts and berries sandwich instead
What
of
is your
peanut butter and
favorite
jelly.
bagel, and how do you like it prepared?
So on the grilled cheese point, it's a sandwich that I recommend you get. It's called the tenderizer. It is not a regular grilled cheese sandwich. It's grilled chicken with barbecue sauce, hot sauce, like 2 different types of cheese. It's the best
At Cheesy's?
sandwich. Yes, the best. It's right
Do
in
you
the
hear
middle.
that, Cheesies? We need you on this show.
It's right in the
Sponsor us,
middle.
please.
Sponsor it right in the middle. Tenderizer, and it's like epic, like flame red,
Oh,
like
man,
chalk.
that
It's crazy.
sounds
So,
delicious.
If Cheesy's ever sponsors the show, Mike, you're doing the plug.
all right.
Oh, for sure. That'd be
Yeah.
great. You might as well do it right now.
Yeah. So I've been there for a lot over the past month. So I know I've gotten that sandwich. It's really good. You can have it multiple times in the month and not get sick of it. So that's
Cool.
endorsement
That's how you know
itself.
it's good.
But on the bagel point, so I will. It's a small story. One is I got to know Neil a lot through student government at Northwestern, and we did a lot of campaigns. We both ran and were able to win, become student body presidents at Northwestern. And so there's a lot of days where we'd wake up like at 4 or just still be up at 4 in the morning. And Einstein Bagels were like they were open, and so we're like, let's go there and have like a morning meeting and just be all kind of depressed because we're really tired. And my favorite bagel was like a honey wheat bagel. It's really good. And just a simple like strawberry, smear. It's really, I keep it simple.
Toasted?
Oh yeah, slightly toasted. Because
Like toast.
sometimes
Not
when
charred, not charred.
sometimes when they say that just toast it, it's like okay, I'll burn it. And it's like no, I didn't tell you to burn
Yeah.
it. Not today. But the slightly toasted honey wheat.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Last minute. It was awesome. And best of luck to the new format.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel, 9 months. There's going to be some gorillas coming out of there.
You can have a baby in that amount of time.
You could get pregnant day 1 of the starter league
Yeah.
We're sorry, Mike. It's
and
taking a
have the
turn.
baby on the graduation
Let's do
day.
it. Let's do it. I'm going to take a class and get my wife pregnant and see if it's exactly 9 months. I want to time it.
That was actually not what I was expecting.
sorry.
I thought you were gonna step up and try to have it yourself.
Oh, he takes it
That's
to the
right.
next
Attaboy.
I'm
level.
going to have a baby in 9 months.
There we go. Take charge.
All right, Mike. We'll
Thank
let
you for
go.
having me. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Awesome.
Oh, we got.
Man told me he was looking for the truth. I told him cool, I've been looking for it too. From the high highs to the low lows, and do the math, do the path, do the master don't know. And lo behold, I find a teacher with the cheap talk. Tell me keep it quiet, cause
Filling in the gaps today is Chicago's very own Cool and Maker. That's QWEL and Maker.com. You can also check them out at BitesOverBagels.com. And that concludes another episode of Bites Over Bagels! Yeah, all right. Of course, we got another show next week. Who's on that show, Dave?
Yeah, we got Mark Lawrence, co-founder and CEO of Spot Hero.
Sweet dude. Was he wearing a blue T-shirt?
He was wearing the Spot Hero T-shirt.
Man, I've never
Gotta
seen that guy
represent.
not in
Gotta
that
represent.
T-shirt.
He's got 100 of them.
He must. He must. As always, you can check us out at BitesOverBagels.com. We're on the Twitters. We're on the Facebooks. We're on the Instagrams. You can go check out some old Vines if you want to.
Check us out on podcasts.
Oh, podcast, iTunes, of course. And don't forget to vote up those startups into the final round of Chicago Tech Startup Madness.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, it's going to be good.
Yeah, it is.
All right, y'all. That's it.
Stay cool.
Stay cool.
But feed the newness when they tumble to death. What's up? Sometimes I'm looking through this life and don't observe it. Or sloping through the dirt and only focus on the burden. It's tough, I know, plus I know the rougher seas are certain. We flower in the now we complete the purpose. Perfect. We cross the bloom to get the perfume. A fight to touch the sky, then return to earth's womb. Yet we flourish through the suckers with their eyes foolish. Wise talk, working on the surface while it busting through the sidewalk. See the truth, free your mind. Reach a deeper root, eat the fruit, leave the rind. Seek the truth, free your mind. Reach a deeper root, eat the fruit, leave the rind. Seek the truth, free your mind. Reach a deeper root, eat the fruit, leave the rind. Seek the truth, free your mind. Reach a deeper root, eat the fruit, leave the rind behind. Gotta push, gotta climb.